I think that if your education and your future are important to you, that this is definitely some place where you can come, and that your experience is going to be what you make it. And the black community is there, and it has its good times and its bad times, but that's not what you came here for, and you're going to make friends regardless. I don't think it's going to make or break your life based on the black community here. So come here, do what you got to do what you came here for. You know why you applied, and make the most of it.
They might have to take out some loans, but the Northwestern degree will pay off in the long run. So I think we need to be sure to educate families about, really, college costs a lot of money no matter where you go. And Northwestern costs a lot of money, but there'll be financial aid and there'll be some loans, and then you'll pay those off when you're done.
Just really come to Northwestern and figure out if it's the best fit for you. I really don't want to, I feel like sometimes we pressure black students to come here because we feel like we need more, but it's really your decision, and make your choice wisely. Northwestern isn't for everyone, just like Michigan State might not be for everyone. So just come visit, ask many questions, be inquisitive, and just figure out if Northwestern is the best fit for you. We would love to have you here.
It's a good thing to be a part of the black community because we are so strong and motivated, but also don't restrict yourself to the black community. You definitely want to network with as many people as you can, black, white, any race.
Don't be intimidated. Do not be intimidated because, there's going to be issues. There's going to be, your grades may not be good enough, you may not have enough money to pay, and I think just push yourself to apply and everything will take care of itself.
If you come to Northwestern, be prepared to deal with the challenges that are inherent, the challenges of being accepted in the wider community and the challenges of being accepted in the African American community. Because your whole time here, until you check yourself out of it, will be proving yourself competent, proving yourself black enough, proving yourself proactive enough. Otherwise, you'll fall by the wayside, and anything that you have to say won't be heard.
I think that's a bunch of bullshit. Sorry to curse a documentary, but I don't really feel like I got in here because I was black, and a number of people didn't even say that they were black on their application, and they still go here. So it's funny because there are often times when I sit in class with white people and I'm like, I'm definitely more qualified to be here than you are.
I think that's ridiculous. It makes me actually really mad because some of the brightest and most passionate people that I've ever met here have been African American students, and we're all here because we're talented and dedicated and smart. I don't feel like skin color has to do with why you did or didn't get in here.
Speaking as someone who works at the admissions office, I know that they don't choose people because, we need black people. And obviously they're not choosing people because we need black people, because the enrollment is going down instead of up.
I feel like you definitely kind of hear that a lot. Sometimes they try to sugarcoat it, but basically at the root of it they're saying you got here on affirmative action and you took some other white deserving student's seat. When I usually hear those type of comments, I'm first upset. Second, I'm just like, that person is completely and totally ignorant about black students, affirmative action, everything, because there's really no foundation for that. I think that is a wide misconception on this campus from, classes I've been in. People always have questions of affirmative actioners like, oh, but, what if then, this white student applies, and then why should race be a factor? And I feel like everyone wants to pretend that we're in some benign society that is somehow divorced from the history. I feel like if you really delve into the issues, you could see why black people have been historically underrepresented in universities. That's what affirmative action is for. They are historically underrepresented. It's not they don't deserve to be here. it is we do recognize that there are some issues outside of academics also that hinder Black students from entering universities, whether it's socioeconomic status, whether it's where they're from, what curriculum their high school offered. There are lots of issues. Affirmative action, even if, say, it gets you into the university, it does not get you your degree. You're still, you're saying, oh, you got here by affirmative action, yet you guys are going to be sitting next to each other at graduation. So kind of what difference does that make?
It's not true. All the students that come here are qualified to attend. We don't admit students who aren't qualified to attend. If you look at our graduation rates, if you look at the performance of all our students, Black students, non-Black students, we just admit really strong, good students. There's no group of students on campus who are unqualified to attend. People who say that don't know what they're talking about.
No, I think they could do a better job of getting into some of the areas where people don't necessarily get to learn about a place like this. But I also think that like a bigger issue is them finding the funding for African American students, because I think a lot of kids get in here but they just choose to go to other places where they're going to be better supported financially and academically.
It definitely makes me feel that like Northwestern's not doing its job in terms of recruitment, because I don't think that 5% is representative of what the national figures are, and either you can look at the 5% in two ways. You can look at it as it's just been a failure on Northwestern's part to actively recruit African American students, or there's people who will look at that figure and say, well, this is proof that African Americans aren't achieving as they should academically to get into an institution like Northwestern, which is a little frustrating, because I know I've seen the potential and I've seen the talent in a lot of my high school friends who, if given the opportunity, would excel at it in a university like Northwestern.
At first I didn't really know much about it, but I was like, well, what can Northwestern do? Black people have to apply. Black people then have to get admitted, and then after they're admitted, they have to come. How can we affect those decisions? But then I kind of stepped back from, my experience of what I thought, and realized that, when the prospects come, they're saying, oh, why should I choose Northwestern? And then sometimes what it boils down to is Northwestern didn't give me a lot of money. And then you recognize that there are really a wealth of Black students who, yes, are admitted here and do not attend. A lot because Northwestern is stingy with the financial aid. If a student is going to come here and all it boils down to is the minimal financial aid that they gave them, that is a complete and total travesty, especially with the endowment that Northwestern has.
No, not at all. It's just like when we had pre-VNU and they all came here, but no one had financial aid. I mean, little things like that. Clearly, to most Black students, most minority students, financial aid is a huge decision when you're trying to decide where to go to school, and to not make sure that they all had that says something to me.